All right, family. Black Power, Black Power. We live with the general. We are in a very serious confrontation overseas with Iran, United States, and the nation of Israel has opened up military operation on Iran. It was coming. It was coming, and everybody should have known that it was coming. You know, and this is it's far about we talking about power. We talking about who gonna be the big dog on the planet. I know a lot of people think that just being nice and everybody gonna have picnics and everybody gonna be good to everybody. That's just not gonna happen. This is a world where you gonna have a big dog and you gonna have a little dog and you might have a dead dog. You just got to choose which one you gonna be. There is no in between. You see, either you're gonna be the big dog, you're gonna be the little dog. You see, you're gonna be the dead dog. You got to choose which one you want to be. Thinking that it's not gonna be a big dog. I don't know what world you in. I don't know what planet you living on. So you got major nations out here that want to be the big dog. Of course, you got the United States. You got Russia want to be the big dog. You got China wants to be the big dog. But you know, everybody can't be that. Everybody can't be. So when you got a yard and you got dogs in the yard, you can't have two competing alpha males in the yard because you know what's gonna happen. Especially if you got you can certain elements you can't put in the yard. You can't have a girl dog in the yard and then put two boys in it. Especially if they, because they're gonna bang, they're gonna want supremacy. You see, they're gonna want supremacy in the yard. That's just how it go. You should understand how things work. Even if it ain't a girl, it could be two boys, and you go out there and feed one before you feed the other. They might want to fight over the food. So you got to understand it's gonna be a big dog. You see, it's gonna be a big dog, it's gonna be a little dog, gonna be a dead dog. You see, you got to find out where at you wanna where you fit. And so the United States being the big imperialist power of the last, at least the last 75 years, has been the big dog. Pretty much. You didn't have Russia in there, but the Soviet Union, but they collapsed. You see, they collapsed. And so that left the United States. Now you got China and you got Russia. Russia is no longer, as far as I'm concerned, viable to be the big dog. They ain't gonna be the big dog. Their economy and all of that, they're not gonna be the big dog. They army, and I told y'all that a long time ago that Russia and y'all love Russia so much because y'all want to be y'all don't want to look at the capabilities of these nations before because you in your emotionalism. Y'all into y'all emotionalism. Y'all not into looking at strategically who got the greater capabilities and just call it like it is. You see, when you call it like it is, people get upset, but it is what it is. You can see, and I told y'all that. Look at Russia. Russia's still over there bogged down in Ukraine. United States go over there and take Venezuela in less than 2 days. You see, squeezing everything. And I showed and I told y'all that. That's what they was gonna do. You see, and I told you what was gonna happen to Iran. I told you what was gonna happen to Russia. They still over there. I told you what was gonna happen to China, and it's gonna happen. What's happening now is in preparation of going to war with China. and Russia. They're gonna squeeze all they little, they little allies first and foremost. That's what's happening. Y'all just got to see what it is. These American imperialists ain't playing no games. Now, if you think they is, then you go on ahead and I'm saying this so you know how to deal with the situation. You ain't got to be in agreement with, but understand and a lot of y'all be talking that SHIT, but then when they get to kicking on these doors and I didn't mean it. I'm with you. I'm really with you. No. You ain't with us. You ain't with. They get to dragging you on up out of there, and that's what they doing. You see, everything they already knew what they was gonna do because they know what predicament that they in. They know they in the fight for American imperialism. That's what they in battle with. And so they know that if China want to work, see, all of this is in preparation for China. They're going in China, they ain't gonna want none. They showing China and Russia right now that they willing to run up in anything, and they kicking doors right now. They didn't win in Venezuela, dragged him on up out of there. Everybody talking all this, they didn't drug him on up out of there and threw him in a hole somewhere. Ain't gonna find him ever. He ain't gonna ever come to light again. You see what I'm saying? Oh, Maduro, they ain't gonna see him no more. So that's that, him or his wife. They done. Okay, so they didn't seize the #1 oil reserves in the world right now in Venezuela. Understand that. Understand that what they doing. You see, so they didn't seize which they was gonna do. If you're gonna go to war, you got to have your oil. And you got to take away the other countries' access to the oil. And that's what they've done by seizing Venezuela. Okay? And then y'all over there and you supplying China. You supplying China. So boom. Hurt them right there. Hurt them right there. You supplying hurt them right there. Bringing Venezuela into, under the control of the United States. You're going to bring the rest of the South America, Latin America under their control because they've been getting oil from Venezuela. So you see what's going on in Cuba? See what's going on in Cuba? Okay, then. Okay, they was getting their oil from Venezuela. You see? But I told you. Didn't I tell you? I say when Cuba let the Russian that warship come over there and dock in Cuba, which was a very foolish mistake, because what Russia gonna do when they get ready to jump on you? When they get ready to jump on you, what Russia can't do nothing. Russia over there, they under, you understand what I'm saying? They hanging on by one finger. They hanging on by one finger on the edge of the cliff. About to fall over themselves. So now Cuba's over there. Can't get oil, can't get no gas. You understand what I'm saying? So they're going to bring Cuba in. They're going to punish Cuba. See, they already talking about Cuba throwing in. They say Cuba throwing in the damn towel. You see? Throwing in the towel. You see Canada. Canada was talking mess, but Canada back in the United States going over in Iran. You see that, don't you? Australia back in the United States going over there in Iran, even though Britain gonna learn the hard way. We're gonna talk about them later on. They gonna learn the hard way. You see what I'm saying? Because the United States ain't playing no game. Just telling you what it is. Now, I ain't got to be in agreement. I know how to see this shit. Okay, for those that I know how to see. So Canada ain't gonna play no game. Canada got a lot of oil reserves too. And so what United States then told them, because they went over there and had some meetings with China. You see, they went over there and had some meetings with China, like, okay, they're gonna put the middle finger up to the United States, and now they're gonna go deal with China. Think again. You understand what I'm saying? Think again. Scrolls them. So they in alignment with it now. Australia. What's his name? That prime minister over there in Britain. He's done. His time is his clock is ticking. He's gonna be out of there real soon. Believe that. They're gonna oust him because they know that they need the United States in case Russia want to jump on them. You see what I'm saying? And plus, the United States about to take it, whatever out there, they're going to take it anyway. They're going to take it anyway. So they own some imperialistic operations right now. And it's all in, really to deter China from any type, because they're going to squeeze China. Nah, they're going into Iran. Okay, they're going into Iran. Why are they going into Iran? They're going to close that Persian Gulf down. China is buying almost 90% of Iranian oil. Buying almost 90%. So China is very dependent on Iran. Okay? So right there, they're getting the up on it. And they was talking about building some silk road. They gonna go, they thinking they're gonna bypass the Persian Gulf. They talking about building some pipelines, and you know what I'm saying? They're gonna lead from China to Iran, and then think again. You see what I'm saying? So Donald Trump is talking about that the next Ayatollah or president or however, whatever they choose, Shah of Iran, got to go through him. That's imperialism. You see, things that they need, they ain't asking nobody because they know, if they don't seize these major geopolitical powerhouse areas in the world, then they're not going to be successful in deterring China. Russia is not in the game no more. Russia is not in the game. Sorry, y'all. Russia is not. They too busy over there fighting Ukraine. So they thinking they being smart, but that's strategically, go ahead, fight. We're gonna make sure that you using your whatever little military you got. You're gonna expand that fighting you. We're gonna continue to lace them. We're gonna use this as a military psyop and we're gonna test out new systems, military systems on y'all. And you understand? We're gonna test out all type of military systems on y'all. And so you go ahead and fight. We're gonna spend everything you got over there. And at the same time, we're gonna knock off your little proxies. Iran is not gonna make it. They went over there and beheaded the man. Took him out, bombed him while he was wherever he was at, knocked off 49 leaders, decapitated, and telling the rest of them, you going too. So you can vote. And they say while they was over there voting for a new Shah, they bombed that meeting. Too. You see, they bombed that meeting too. So there it is. And so this is what making preparation for China. But seizing particular areas. Now, what do I believe? And as you can see, listen to me when I tell y'all this. They're going to take Greenland, as you can see. Everything that they said they was going to take, they taking that. So Denmark and European Union might as well get ready, because Greenland, and once you understand how critical Greenland is, you see, because they need Greenland to put that golden dome up there. You understand what I'm saying? When you look at the globe and you see that, people look at the flat map and they think that's how they're going to be shooting missiles. No, they're going to be shooting missiles over that pole. They're going to be coming over the top. You see what I'm saying? Russia, and once you see how those, Russia, Canada, and then you got Greenland right there. And so United States won't get right there on Greenland. So when they get to shooting, they can hit them missiles before they even come across the pole. You see what I'm saying? Knock them down. So they need Greenland. Okay. And that's why they telling Canada too. You see what I'm saying? They about to put a major push on Russia and China. They have a doctrine today that they believe that they could win a nuclear war. Do y'all understand that? This is the doctrine that they didn't put up. And so they intend on putting a shield where they can literally knock down anything coming over there. You understand what I'm saying? Now, imagine that. Imagine that. But they don't have one. And you got the ability to knock down, even though that's still going to be, but you don't have to take the major hits. You don't have to take the major hits, and you got a dome, boom, that'll knock down any incoming missile, but they don't have one. That's going to be devastating for them. It's going to be devastating for them. So I'm showing you where this is just the beginning. This is the beginning. Iran ain't ready. They ain't ready. Now, we'll talk about what they might possibly respond with on the next video. We coming right, Black family. Get over there to Patreon, support the general. I'm going to have a lot of more intricate, you understand, because I know how this internet is. And they don't, they very touchy with situations like this, especially when you coming in raw. Now, if you want the raw, come on over to Patreon family, click the link at the top of the chat. And I'm gonna give it to you just like you could be into your emotionalism, say, oh, Seti with the United States, oh, Seti with mother, they coming in. You can say whatever you want. They coming in. How do you see it? They coming in. What you gonna do? They knocking on doors. They ice running in everywhere. They on the planet and they doing almost anything and everything that they want to do. What you gonna do to stop? What you gonna do to stop them besides run off at your mouth? You got to strategize and see how this is going down, call it like it is, see so you can have clarity on how to deal with a situation like that. You see what I'm saying? So coming right, Black family, got another video coming up right after this. Come on back, talk with the general, and let's talk about what's really going on, what's really hood out there. All right, family, I'll see y'all real soon. Arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on the Wicked Beast Daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Boom. Black power.